The emergent adult population is a demographic in the country that's really falling behind, and there's so much statistics out there that support that. We want to make sure that the young people in this area are being supported through their emergent adulthood, and that they're entering adulthood competent and confident in what they're doing, and can really go out there and add value to this planet.
Merry Christmas! It is Christmas season, the season of giving, and it's a time where a lot of people just in our society, they're being very generous. And what we're going to do today is we're going to visit with a local nonprofit. Well, the reason why this nonprofit is near and dear to my heart is because I can relate with the people that this nonprofit is serving. So the people that this nonprofit serves are kids in a very specific area of town. And there was a time in my childhood where I grew up in or around this part of town, and kind of like this inner city part of Phoenix that isn't necessarily known as the best neighborhood. But the way that this nonprofit serves these kids and helps equip them to be awesome adults, I think you're really gonna like it. Check it out.
You asked me serious questions in that thing?
Oh yeah. This is a Christmas video, so it requires a solid Christmas sweater. This is my Christmas sweater. I made it.
I love it.
Making fun of the sweater, you make fun of me.
Okay, all right, you got it, yeah.
This is it. It jingles.
It jingles.
So Daniel, you have founded this nonprofit called G-Road. What is G-Road? Why G-Road? It kind of like reminds me of like an inner city boy band or something.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, no. So G-Road is a subculture that was developed in the neighborhood that I grew up in. So it was a label that was put on me, whether I liked it or not, when I was a kid. And we all just kind of, took it as like a badge of honor when we were kids.
All right.
And then as we grew up, essentially I was forming a nonprofit and in the neighborhood that I grew up in, and I thought it would be neat to have the word road in it. Because that just, there's so many different roads in life and everyone's different.
Yeah.
For us, it's really just taking something that could have been viewed negatively and turning it into a positive thing.
Yeah. So you were a kid from the G-Road.
I was a kid from G-Road.
Yeah. So what is the G-Road area? Like if you were going to say this geographical area, we're sitting here in this location in Central Phoenix. So
we're in Central Phoenix, like East Central Phoenix, but it's from 7th Street to 24th Street.
Okay.
And it's from Thomas to Van Buren. Okay. So it's right in the heart of the city.
So why this area? Like why do you want to serve the youth in this area? Why do you want to have a location here in Central Phoenix?
We know that there is limited access to quality programming in this area, being as though I grew up in it and came through it. There's a lot of positive things, and there's been a lot of contributions and moments that have been good, but there hasn't been a culture of intentionality and people that are coming in here to embrace what's already existing and giving them tools to essentially be productive adults.
Okay.
There's gaps in some of the programming that exists currently here.
Okay.
And we're just trying to fill in those gaps and create something that's sustainable.
So when you say programming, one of the things that we can think of is after school programming for kids, right?
Yeah.
There's things like the Boys and Girls Club. There's even city programs from the city of Phoenix. What is G-Road doing different than those programs, and maybe what gaps did you experience as a kid, or what gaps do you see now?
Yeah, so the City of Phoenix and the Boys and Girls Club do great things. There's from our experience here, there's been a lot of turnover, and so it's really hard to build that culture that we talked about unless you have consistency. And I think what we have done successfully is we built a board of people, decision makers that are from this area, that understand this area, and so we're not disconnected from the need, and so we're able to kind of streamline decision making to fill in some of those gaps. And some that we've talked about before are, kids that age out of programming when they're like 15, 16, 17 years old. When you're 18, you're no longer allowed to go to some of these programs. But we want to continue that programming until they're 24, 25 years old. And so the emergent adult population is a demographic in the country that's really falling behind. And there's so much statistics out there that support that. We want to make sure that the young people in this area are being supported through their emergent adulthood, and that they're entering adulthood competent and confident in what they're doing, and can really go out there and add value to this planet.
Man, you sound really passionate about not just helping kids in this area, but raising them up to be adults that can contribute, not back just to this area, but to society as a whole. I've heard you talk before about these pillars that G-Road has. You mentioned the word intentionality. What intentional things are you going to try to pour into the kids here on this land? What intentional pillars do you guys have set in place at G-Road?
Yeah, so if we can identify 3 things that we want to make sure all of our participants have when they leave our programming, it's going to be financial literacy. People are not entering adulthood financially competent. So that's one that's very important to us. It would have definitely been helpful to me, still would be. I have a lot to learn there. And so we want to make sure that everybody is healthy as well, mental health and physical health. We need to understand what that is, nutrition and how that affects your body, how that affects your finances. If it's an investment in your finances to take care of your body. And then we also want to make sure that people are aware of what's going on in the community at large and find their niche of how they can help and how they can lift other people up that are different from them or that have needs. And so we want to make sure that everybody has a community service agenda when they leave here. So we want to leave with the finance plan, a health plan, and a community service agenda.
Man, that's beautiful. A way to be intelligent with your finances, intelligent with and intentional with your health, but more importantly, an opportunity and a way to give back.
Absolutely.
To be a part of something that's bigger than themselves.
Yeah.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here on this land that's for sale, and part of the reason why we're putting this video together is we want to raise awareness to help raise money for G-Road to obtain this land. Why this land and why right now?
Well, this land is in the center of our what we call the square that we talked about earlier, and a lot of our families around here have transportation is an issue. It's a burden, and we want to make sure that we bring access to programs that are quality and intentional to them. But we want to make sure that the programs that we offer are walking distance to the families that we are serving. This land will allow us to at least double what is already in this area, and with our model we'll be able to bring in more people and invite people in. So I think having our own space will create a culture of our own that will, I believe, resonate across the city.
So you've currently outgrown your typical spaces that you're partnered with right now with some of the other programs. This will allow you to serve more people because there's a lot more kids that need to get served. And it's going to allow you to augment and actually help some of the other after-school programs that are currently out there with intentionality. That will allow you to help these kids become thriving adults, and that's really exciting for me to hear.
Yeah.
Let's say somebody's watching this video, they're gonna click the link, click the button, and donate some money to help G-Road buy this land. What are they giving money to? Like, not just G-Road, the organization, but like what is their dollars? What does it go towards?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. And anybody who's donating to us can trust that they're donating to an organization that wants to be held accountable. Mm-hmm. We don't want to model what we've seen in the nonprofit sector in this city. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure that when we're talking to our donors and that we're communicating with integrity and respecting the people that we are working with. And we feel that we've designed something that is going to go straight into this this model that we've created and really, support people truly.
So give me an example of a kid that, maybe what their life would look like prior to being introduced to G-Road, and what the hope is that they would, when they're aged out or when they become an adult, what they would have, what they'd be equipped with because of this land, because of this space, because of G-Road. Yeah,
so we design programs based off of the needs, listening to the kids, and if a kid is interested in media, then we find a volunteer and find somebody who's passionate about media to teach that. So we're not just coming in and saying, hey, this is what you should learn. We are listening to the kids and building programs around their desires. And so we think it's really important to introduce young people to a lot of different things when they're younger, and then as they get older, they find what they're good at, and then we can provide, consistent programs. And then we just use that leverage where them wanting to come and be a part of our basketball program or wanting to come and be a part of our garden to teach them the three things that we talked about: the finances, the health, and the community service.
Yeah.
And so we use the after school program as really just to bring the kids in and dangle really cool programs that we think are life changing and really therapeutic to the community here. And we use that opportunity to teach three things.
Yeah. So by the time they're done with G Road, this lane, this space, the program that you're putting together, it's going to be able to have kids that grew up in this neighborhood to know how to handle their money, to know how to be healthy, both mentally and physically, but then also know how to give back.
Yeah.
And how cool of a cycle would that be?
That would be amazing.
Yeah, just to see and witness.
Yeah.
That's great. We're trying to do anything and everything we can before December 31st of this year, 2020, to raise as much money as possible so that G Road can purchase this land. How much does the land cost?
So the land is about $1.1 million, and we have a $100,000 matching grant available. That's why we rolled out this campaign. So anything that we raise up to $100,000 will be matched.
Wow. So if you donate money as a part of this program, there's going to be a dollar for dollar match up to $100,000. Now, we would love by the end of the year to have the 1.1 raised, but this video is going to live on the internet forever, right?
Absolutely.
So if people are watching this and they want to get involved and donate to G Road, how can they reach out to you guys? How can they, be a part of what you're doing here?
Absolutely. So we welcome anybody to come and be a part, have conversations with us. If you go to groad.org, www.groad.org, you can find all of my information on there. You can donate straight from the page. But we'd love to have conversations. We want to make sure that it's a fit. We want to have transparency. We want to have accountability. Even with our donors, we're not desperate for it. We want to build a relationship because there's a need, and we want to make sure that we're growing something together.
Yeah,
it's something that I haven't seen, being in the nonprofit sector essentially my whole life and benefiting from it tremendously. I want to see that. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah. Well, relationships not only with the kids, but relationships with donors is a big deal. It's cool to hear that from you. Relationship with Dan, I trust him, I love him, and I love the things that are happening here. Being somebody who also grew up near this area, I know the needs that he's talking about are 100% real. I'm going to be donating my own personal funds to this program, and I want to encourage you guys to do the same thing. Donate. Donate to help G Road get this land so that they can make an impact on these kids. You will be able to make an impact on these kids' lives with your donations.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.